So for those of you that want the look of a retro adventure bike from the 80s and 90s, that can perform and handle as well as any modern bike of the 21st century, well, let's just say Ducati's just rolled up Christmas, your birthday, and possibly even Easter into one awesome looking package, slapped a Desert X sticker on its ass, and let it loose on the worldwide adventure biking community to see if they can stir up a bit of trouble. So sit back for a few moments, while we take a look at 10 real reasons why this new adventure bike from Ducati's got the competition in a spin. Now getting straight down to business, this new bike looks like a proper desert racer from any angle, and will probably turn heads wherever it goes. But what do we really like about the bike's looks, and in contrast what not so much? Well, to start with, its two dominant round headlights that are of course LED and DLR compliant, immediately give the bike a nighttime capable look. Bold detailing on the side fairings with Desert X embossing, and a massive aluminium engine cowl add to the bike's big character and almost dominant light presence. The X also comes with an asymmetrical and well-sculpted fuel tank, that along with its knobbly tires, makes it look like it's ready to conquer the Dakar Rally. With its white paint scheme, that's highlighted by silver and black accents, the X keeps its retro looks and is like nothing else on, or indeed off-road. So you can forget about what was powering the concept model at EICMA a few years ago, as what it's actually getting's more powerful, and has more torque than the competition. Well, almost all the competition, but I'll come to that in a moment. And with a power curve that keeps giving all the way up to 9,500 RPM, the awesome new Testastretta 937cc V-twin motor was always going to be the Italian marque's weapon of choice. With the motor capable of producing 110 horsepower and just over 92 Nm or 68 foot-pound of torque, it puts the Ducati Desert X slightly above its rivals, especially in terms of horsepower. However, as mentioned a moment ago, the KTM 890 Adventure offers a slightly superior torque rating. Nevertheless, peak torque comes in at a very attainable 6,500 RPM, which should result in the Desert X being a very easy bike to live with, especially in tough off-road conditions. Since the Desert X takes cues from its predecessors, you can definitely class it as a proper adventure tourer that's more capable of off-road adventures than many of its immediate rivals. With this in mind, Ducati wasted no time and concentrated more on the bike's gearing. That's resulted in a very interesting setup that features a shorter first and second gear, making it very easy to conquer the trails. The gear shifts are butter smooth, and that definitely elevates the overall experience, even though you may find yourself doing more gear shifts due to its short initial gearing. However, the third, fourth, and fifth gears are adequately long, and that aids to its excellent highway rideability, and also aids in churning out above average fuel efficiency figures. Last but by no means least, the X has an even longer sixth gear, that's great for those long-distance straight-line journeys, meaning the motorcycle can cruise at the legal speed limit with the engine being barely audible. The X comes with a massive 25-litre or 5.5-gallon fuel tank at the front, and along with that, there's a smaller 9.5-litre or 2.1-gallon fuel tank at the rear, that can be accessed by removing the passenger seat. However, this is offered as an additional accessory by Ducati. Since these motorcycles spend a lot of time in the wilderness, having a decent range is quite essential, and the range anxiety can be completely solved by the secondary tank. Even the range with just the main tank is an excellent 233 miles, which is slightly higher than the Multistrada V2 that comes with the same motor as the X, although the X gets a better economy at around 41 miles per gallon. So this new bike comes with a steel trellis frame that's been revised quite a bit to accommodate its longer travel front and rear suspension, helping significantly to improve its off-road performance. The X also comes with a longer wheelbase in comparison to the V2, that when combined with a revised geometry, make it far more stable, competent, and confidence-inspiring than the Multistrada. The swing arm on the Desert X is stiffer and helps aid comfort, and makes the bike more in line with the V4, however, with a dry weight of 445 pounds it's definitely not the lightest bike in its class, and that unfortunately may put a few people off. The front end of the Desert X comes with a pair of fully adjustable KYB inverted forks with 9.1 inches of travel. Unfortunately, while the rear end gets a generous 8.7 inches of travel from a KYB fully adjustable mono, due to what we imagine are price restrictions, the X misses out on a semi-active suspension system. Nevertheless, with an unmatched ground clearance of 9.8 inches, and all that suspension travel, the bike's sure to handle impeccably under all conditions. Big wheels offer great on- and off-road performance, incorporating a 21-inch front and 18-inch rear that makes it easier for the bike to roll through slush and sand. Another factor that makes the Desert X more capable off-road is a pair of knobbly tires that it comes with as standard, as it's shod with Pirelli Scorpion Rally STR tires from the factory, and are definitely the perfect choice for the kind of adventures undertaken by this class of machine, as they'll stick to the ground like a leech, irrespective of surface or weather, albeit them a bit noisy, and less comfortable on smooth tarmac. So as this is quite a hefty bike, it definitely needs some hefty stopping power, and that's why front braking's handled by a pair of capable 320mm dual semi-floating discs, with M50 Brembo calipers. Now this is of course some excellent braking hardware for the front end, and makes sure that the motorcycle stops with a slight pull of the lever. The initial bite's adequate and the progression of the brakes are spot on too. The rear's handled by a 265mm disc with Brembo floating calipers that all add up to more than enough braking power for the rider, a pillion, and a full luggage complement. All brake lines are steel braided, and of course help to offer an excellent balance between on- and off-road braking performance. The X also gets a dual-channel ABS system, with multiple modes to suit most riding conditions. So one of the things we really like about this bike is its riding position, and with a seat height of close to 35 inches from the ground, the X offers a commanding seat position. The foot pegs aren't too far back, and the handlebars are raised and are adequately wide. All of this contributes to a perfect rider's triangle that's helpful during freeway riding, as well as during an off-road stood riding position. So although the seats are quite narrow, helping shorter riders to get planted feet, Ducati also offers a seat lowering accessory as an optional extra that I'm sure will be popular with some riders. So there seems to be a big split in the riding community, as some riders love embracing rider aids and electronics, and some wanting bikes to be stripped back to make for a more traditional ride. However, with that said, although the X has kept its retro looks, with let's say a bit of a modern twist, it's definitely not lacking in the electronics department, as the X comes with a long list of features, all of which help the rider and pillion to be more comfortable and some may say confident. So to start with, it gets 6 driving modes being Sport, Touring, Urban, Wet, Enduro, and Rally, all offering varying power and throttle response, which will be attractive to some riders. You also get traction control, wheelie control, engine brake control, Ducati's quick shift system, ABS, and a cruise control system, and a 5-inch TFT display that all shows all the relevant information to the rider crisply. So as this bike styling obviously pays homage to the Desert X of the past, do you think they should have held back on all the electronic junk and given us a more traditional ride, or do you say bring it on with the rider modes and electronics? Anyway, we'd love to hear your take on it, so drop us a comment in the usual place. If you're enjoying our content, we hope you will consider making a subscription to our channel, and please leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this review.